break even to profitable. Day 3.
This is very interesting. We gotta see how we behave around here, because we gotta wait for this 1 hour to get tapped. It can also leave from the zone we're currently in, because this is a really good breaker or a support and resistance zone, and we have the high here, and it's a rebalance FVG with this wicks. Previous gap, it's a high resistance, high quality area. This one I would call this the middle of this is the most high quality area. It's a pretty pivotal point. If it breaks, we're gonna go lower towards this. If it holds, we're gonna go higher. Basically, we can probably look at a demo trade here and just short. UK is valid for buys. We can just look straight up buys here. It's valid. Think about it. We have a 1 hour and a 4 hour. It's just continuation. In continuation, it's really easy to trade. So it's a valid trade if we break this. So UK, let's look higher time frame in terms of resistance. Can we be scared of buying here? Is there the reason for us to not take this trade? Probably if when we reach a bit higher towards this, so we're probably gonna have one more move, then reverse, I feel like. But it depends. We also have this, so this is pretty dangerous, I would say. And I really like that the zone is overlapping on the 50-minute, on the 1 hour, and on the 4 hour. This is usually something I want to see for a high quality trade, but I think, ooh, this is a good 1 minute gap. Oh my god, bruh, that's a good 1 minute gap. We also have this trendline liquidity lower time frame, which is nice, and this is our POI. Even on the 5 minute, we see we have gap, so we have it aligned on a lot of time frames. It fully closed the 1 hour gap. That's a really good sign as well, because we had a pretty big candle here, but we closed it on London Open, so we should probably hold higher. We do have this 50-minute though, which is a reason I didn't see this, but now it is what it is. Or let's think again. Let's think, what is the best decision? Generally, this makes us wait for confluence, but it looks really good on the 1 minute. Maybe half risk. This is kinda what I have to do. When I have a 50-minute zone in my way, I gotta wait for another entry pattern, so for a bonus confluence, basically counter this POIs. We can trail this here and we can mark it. Sheesh. We entered on the close on the 3-minute on the first FVG, and we entered again on the second close of the FVG. That's actually crazy. That's pretty good, I would say. I'm considering going in with a small position depending on how we behave here, but we also have this bearish FVG. The Euro trade was actually pretty nice. On the break of this 50-minute, I'm gonna scale in the full position. Now I only scaled in twice. I scaled in 0.5 here and 0.5 here. Then price again inverse this area, retested it again, potential scaling, delivery towards next price at liquidity. This is it's not a classic ICT scalp, it's more like a trend continuation because of this big move that kind of broke structure, kind of inverted. First we anticipated a higher low, and second we enter after a higher low was formed. Let's see how we behave. So as I said, we gotta be really careful of how price behaves right now. Technically we want to see price continue higher, right, of the retest. If we inverse, then we really need to consider closing, because we are just playing that scenario. As I said, I don't think a 1 minute inverse is the reason for me to take any partials. We can actually take this 3-minute gap if it closes well and put our final scale in on this position. Sound like this, sound like 1.5. That's crazy, that's good. I just want to wait for the candle close. I want to see close as a valid gap for me to take. I don't care how it rejects of the high, to be honest. If we inverse, it's a good sign, because again, sell side sweep, and if we see bullish momentum, it means we're definitely gonna go towards this high right here. We're getting a pretty dangerous inverse. It was fine from here, but now we're inversing and it's pretty bad. Yeah, for now it's not great, but not bad either. We still have the zone. Probably gonna track my both stop losses to this low here. This low should not get taken. Like a solid 2 hour. Because my plan was being bullish anyways, and we just came into that 50-minute. This was the initial move, maybe. This looks like a good entry. I just don't know where to execute. I don't know whether to execute on this top FVG or execute in the best place for R, which is here. UK is looking good. I think Euro is gonna look good as well. Euro looks good. I wanna see especially how we behave around here. If we form a gap bearish, I'm willing to call it a trade, but Euro is looking really good. On UK, we can get break even on these two trades, but I would wanna potentially cover my previous loss at least, so means price coming back a bit more above. Close one other position on the UK. I think I'm gonna close the next one soon. One of them I close at break even, and I'm letting one potentially run here. Okay, this was so one we got our break even, 1 minus 0.1% and 1 minus, so almost like a 1% loss we took. We didn't really have opportunities to take any good partial. Monitored here in the consolidation. Here price are reversing, but no real, on the 5-minute there was no real opportunity. The only opportunity was here when we returned, and here's where I closed our break even on the inspection of this 1-minute bearish FVG, because it's a very clear sign for me that we're reaching lower. We are really fast on euro, to be honest. We're kind of going already at 1%. We're approaching that area of resistance. I said we can right now just cover our losses from UK, but I want to see how price behaves, because obviously we don't just want to take profit off the table. It's a good entry for now. UK looks like it's starting to be bullish. I might have closed slightly earlier, but at this point this should have probably been break even. Like, we don't really, if we didn't take this loss, I wouldn't probably get out of break even, but taking this loss we have to manage our risk accordingly. So I had to get break even in one position and one take a small loss. Maybe the smaller one I could have left with the initial stop loss below here and let price potentially go lower. We didn't really have 3-minute confluence to close the trade, but yeah. This is pretty clean. This is the demo trade we took on a counter trend towards a retrace for our POI, and this is the position we took today. So maybe we can just put our take profit at 3% just for fun to see if price prints. Really good, really clean trade. God damn, now I'm just realizing how clean this trade actually is. Let's see that candle, bro. We're holding that 1 minute well. I ended up closing. Yeah, trade stop loss got triggered. My trail stop loss got triggered. It was a worth decision to give price room in case it wants to go to 3%, and our worst case scenario was almost a 2%. More like we're basically kind of the same where we started, I feel like, but it's still not bad at all. So I'm gonna talk to you later. Let's review the trades that we had. Again, this is me from the future since I didn't record, but let's see. So the UK trade, right? The UK trade was actually pretty decent. The problem wasn't the trade itself. We were in a scenario where the trade most likely lose. My biggest issue is partials. Like on all the trades you see, my biggest issue right now is partials. My trades are really good. My problem is not taking partial. I made the initial decision of trading my stop loss here, which ended up holding for price. Probably would have gotten stopped out by spread, but still ended up being the right decision. I did end up closing and not leaving my stop losses open because I took a stupid scaling around the highs of here and ended up getting stopped out, and because of that I had to make a protective measure to protect my capital, and I don't think it was a bad decision. The bad decision was not taking partials on this zone. Me trading this model for a lot of time, I know when we have this initiation lower and we trade against it, we trade to buy, price most often than not will fail off this area, this consolidation, because this is also a bearish pattern, a bearish model. In this case, why this area was also really strong is because we had a 50-minute FVG here. Me knowing that this area is where price usually fails, where this model usually fails when we have this variation, I should have considered instant partials on the zone. Instant partials, non-negotiable, right? Non-negotiable. When price reaches the zone, me knowing that it will fail, I need to secure some profit, right? After studying a bit, I came up with the conclusion that I need to have non-negotiable partials in some area, which means taking partials no matter what price. So in this case, us reaching into that area, we would have just closed on price slowing down. So we would have closed a big portion of our position on this when we see that bullish candle got rejected, or when we see this inverse. So we could have either closed around these candles when price started slowing down into the area, or either after we inverse and we retested here, we could have closed a big portion of our position. And then the second close is where I should have initially closed, even though I didn't take non-negotiable partial. I didn't know at the moment, but second, when price started giving the signs that it's going to initiate out of this range to range, this is a really dangerous pattern. Second, I should have took a partial on this inverse. This is a really strong inverse. Just when price inverse this, I should have closed, but instead I just waited and closed around here. This was a really bad close. This is one of my biggest issues, is that I closed too late. I take partials too late. I basically took partial around this. I closed both of the positions around break even around this, and then price started reversing. I closed too late. I need to take partials at the top of the move, not the bottom. Right? I'm not mad that price ended up running. I'm mad that I didn't manage the trade properly, because most often than not the trade will fail lower. One partial here on price just reaching into that area Second partial, big portion of our position took here. We didn't consider that scaling this because it was really overextended, so we would have closed another portion here, then trail out my stop loss here where I initially did and let the trades run, right? Because if I took partials, you're comfortable in leaving a bit of stop loss room for price to leave it run. This is where I initially trade my stop loss, and it wouldn't ended up coming really close to that TP. Probably would have managed it, but yeah, scaling was not bad in terms of confluence, but it was really overextended. See, this is how you should take partials. You cannot really take partials on like after price being in one something R. This is where my initial order got tapped, and this is where I scaled in after we came from 0507 of this range. So for me to scale in again after price formed this move, can you guess what I should have done? Is draw a fib here, which is this area, and take partials only when price comes. And price ended up coming here and ended up leaving. This is the area where I should have taken scale-ins, not here. Scale-ins here in 0507, not overextended how I did. So this was a really bad scaling, but again, it's something we need to learn. That was basically it. It was trade management. This is my issue. The euro trade on the other side was really good. This trade was extremely good, right? We had bullish bias. We came off this 1 hour AVG. I just wanted to trade off it. I don't usually trade lunchtime. This one thing. This day was actually clean. This was our retracement trade on the demo, and this was our live trade that I took. I don't usually trade lunchtime. This is a big thing because price ended up leaving exactly on lunchtime, which is 1 p.m. my hour. Why did I trade? I only trade lunchtime when I have serious confluence that guarantees we're not reaching back lower into the POI I want to trade off. So it ensures some type of confluence that kind of gives me confidence in not getting manipulated, right? Because if we would have entered here, boom, order here, stop loss here, we would have gotten manipulated. Why I didn't enter? Because price still had this bearish intention. I want to see that fire off, which it did here. Price came, manipulated, and then started giving some signs. Price formed this higher low here, started breaking higher. This is where I took my entry. One reason why I took my entry lunchtime is because buyers already got manipulated on this low, and then price already formed a higher low and started breaking higher. So it was really good in terms of confluence that we are switching that trend target. This is the trades I want to catch consistently, and the trades I used to catch consistently. Now there's only one small mistake of this trade. Wanted to give price room between 2 to 3R. It was really close to 3R. Price had a lot of momentum, as we can see here, so I wanted to give price room to potentially go towards that 3R. And for me, what I decided to do is trade my stop loss below this FVG, because this FVG was a really pivotal point, because it was formed around the previous liquidity level. I don't know if I have a picture. It was formed around the previous liquidity level. So if price holds that FVG, see also on the 3-minute, if price wants to continue, it should hold this FVG, because see, we don't have FVGs here. This is the only FVG we have, so we should have held higher if we reach for 3R. So in a case like this where we have a really pivotal FVG that if it gets inverse, we reverse. If it holds, we're gonna go higher. It's a really smart decision to trail your stop loss below this FVG, and that's exactly what I did, and it was a good decision. It was trailed at around 1.8. The only mistake I had is I should have secured the partial on seeing price slow down. On seeing price fail this wick higher and fail this bars here on this next bearish candle, or on around here, I should have take a partial and then trail my stop loss, because in terms of money, this would have, in our percentage, this would have been a very different result. Because if we would have closed 50 at around 2.5, which is here, I would have secured 1.1 in total, which is a 2.2%. or if I would have closed 70, I would have secured a 2.3. So that's a big difference, 2.2 and 2.3, depending on how I closed instead of a 1.8. So it was a really small mistake, but yeah, it's not that bad, right? This trade was really good. I did everything I was supposed to, but the market just did my job. I didn't do much, right? It was a small mistake. So that was it for today. I'll see you next time.